Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! For one to record a video about Descendants and Zombies, it's all about how you tell the story and how you bring it to light. And I like to believe that I brought it to light in a way that no other YouTube creator has been able to do it, because I do it with such passion and dedication. And it's all about how you understand the story. Now, that doesn't mean studying the story and breaking it down and offering you guys an analogy. It's about loving the story like you guys do and understanding you for how you love the story and why you love the story. That's why I've loved hearing your stories and having the honor to meet each and every one of you, which has made this the greatest year of my life. Thousands of people have subscribed to this YouTube channel. It's beyond me why. I guess you guys think the guy hosting the show is cool because he understands and has a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies and what you love in the stars that you've fallen in love with head over heels. Because I have too. I have seen the passion coming from Kylie Control's heart every single time she uploads a dance video or uploads an interview. It's so fun hearing what Kylie Control says and how she feels, because she expresses her emotions in a way that no other character in Descendants has ever been able to do it, because she does it with such passion. And I really love that about Kylie Control, how she always shows up, because Dove Cameron kind of just showed up and did PR for Descendants for the purpose of doing PR to receive publicity and to be talked about, and that's all ever Dove Cameron did it for. And it seemed like when the chance arose for Dove Cameron to leave her Disney past behind her, she closed the door more rapidly and more fastly than perhaps anybody ever had, because Sophia Carson kind of held on to it for a number of years, and people always brought up in conversation with Sophia, you know, what was it like being a part of Descendants? How many memories did you have the chance to create? What was the experience like? And she always goes back. More recently, for the 10th anniversary of Descendants, she did a 5-minute interview where she reflected on the character Evie and how the character had meant so much to her career, giving her the opportunity to become an actress, and so many opportunities befell her because of it. And it seems like Dove Cameron, every single time she's posed a question about Descendants, she kind of just forgets about it and kind of throws it away, because in all honesty, I don't think the same passion existed in the heart of Dove Cameron that existed in the heart of Kylie Control. And I say that because I fell in love with Kylie Control for what she represented and what she wanted to become. And that was really a hero for everybody, because I think everybody saw a hero at one point or another, or some way or somehow, in Kylie Control, because of how she always made you feel as if you were a part of the Descendants franchise. I mean, at the Worlds Collide tour, I saw that with my own eyes, how Kylie Control made you feel as if you were a part of it, almost as if you were on stage with her. And I think it made it an immersive experience. I think it was an experience in a time in everybody's life they will never ever forget, a moment that we all wish we could have stopped and froze in time. I think that the concept of time travel being taken out of Descendants is going to be missed, because I really loved how there was always something interesting about time travel, or the consequences of changing the fabric of time and altering it in Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland. If you remember the original Cinderella trilogy, there was a chapter in the Cinderella trilogy called Cinderella: Twist in Time. So it was kind of really cool how, and that's because I read the books and I saw the original trilogy years ago from Disney. I loved how Disney would turn franchises into trilogies years ago based off animated classics like Aladdin and Cinderella and even Alice in Wonderland. And if you have a greater appreciation for this and really want to study it and go in depth, I would recommend that you read the books. Now, they are some challenging reads, but they will give you a greater appreciation for what Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland as franchises have meant to Disney. I do apologize. Apparently, there's a zombie apocalypse happening outside my door this evening, and I don't know if it's because of construction. I don't know if there's something going on in the city, but that's what you get when you decide to move near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment. And of course, it is autumn, and it's really beautiful here on this island. And that's one of the reasons why I moved here on this island, because it reminded me of Oregon. In all honesty, that's how passionate I was about Descendants and Zombies. If I was going to record videos about Descendants and Zombies, I wanted to live the entire Descendants and Zombies experience, especially the zombie experience, because it was just something about having the honor of living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could have exploded. So when the opportunity presented itself, I jumped at it. I found this house in real estate. I found it online. I moved in here, and I haven't left since. People have told me it's haunted for forever. I can't say I ever believe them, but there's always the chance of something unpredictable happening every single time that you upload a video on this YouTube channel. And you hear things, going bump in the night every single night. And it presents a really unique opportunity to talk about Descendants and Zombies, so I've loved it ever since. And there are so many stories on this island that are associated with mermaids and pirates and ghost ships. It's a really cool opportunity for me to talk about Descendants and Zombies, which is why I've expressed desire for the Descendants cast to come here and shoot Descendants 6. I would love to take myself up in the opportunity to become the writer and producer of Descendants and Zombies, and to have the opportunity of shooting Descendants 6, because I think I could offer a lot to this franchise creatively and really bring it to life. And I say this because I have a greater appreciation for theater. I often tell a story about how I fell down through the stage one fateful night producing Phantom of the Opera. I went up to fix a stage light and fell down through a stage and ended up getting hospitalized, but it created a fond memory for me because I always wanted to bring these theatrical presentations to life in ways that nobody else ever had the opportunity to do it. So I auditioned for drama club, I joined the theater program at school, and if there was one guy every day after school that was in the theater room, it was this guy, because I had a greater appreciation for studying fairy tales, I had a greater appreciation for bringing stage productions like Beauty and the Beast and High School Musical to life. And when I heard the story years ago about how High School Musical had actually released a license for high schools to perform this on-stage musical, it was a huge opportunity for a lot of people. I know years ago Disney was really strict on stage productions being brought to life by high schools, but now they're releasing the licenses for High School Musical and Beauty and the Beast and what have you, and people are taking the opportunity upon themselves to do that. So it's really, really cool. I hope this zombie apocalypse doesn't last all day, but regardless, I'll be recording videos all day for you guys because I can really talk about Descendants of Zombies for forever because I see the greater appreciation in this love story between Zed and Addison, and I think we saw ourselves in the love relationship between Zed and Addison that was really brought to life in this horror sci-fi musical. You know, when I first heard the idea of this being a horror sci-fi musical from Disney, I felt it fit perfectly with what Disney was trying to promote of that generation because they were just introducing us coming off the Marvel multiverse stuff and more than one Spider-Man, more than one Incredible Hulk, more than one Captain America. I thought it was really, really cool how Disney was trying to co-promote everything and have it all, you know, work together. And it was just amazing how Disney took themselves up on the opportunity to introduce Descendants of Zombies at the same time because it fit perfectly with that era and what they were trying to promote. And with Addison trying to find her place in the world as a zombie, a werewolf, an alien, I thought it was really cool how she was trying to find her place in the world and really putting it out there that that's really all we have to do in our lifetime is really try to find our place in the world. That could come in the form of trying to find acceptance, trying to find true love. But at the end of every zombies movie, the moral of the story always was that it can happen for anybody, regardless of what you may be going through. And I really like the theme of acceptance. And I really like how Meg Donnelly in PR for Zombies and Descendants would always put over the fact and the idea of how everybody is struggling to find acceptance in this world, and no matter how difficult it may be for people to see, they eventually find it. And that's what everybody found in Seabrook. They learned to coexist, and they learned to exist in one world, which I wish more people would kind of take into perception, because I think that while people choose to criticize Descendants and Zombies, there's a greater message and a greater purpose, and by criticizing Descendants and Zombies, we're kind of defeating the purpose of realizing the truest potential for the stars and how they've really shown so much heart and dedication really bringing this to life. That's why I really love when Kylie Control posts stuff every morning on social media, because it uplifts our spirits and it gets us ready for the day because we don't know what to expect. Every single time that we go out through that door, we don't know what life has in store, but that's what makes it such a mystery and so fun and so exciting, because if we knew what was going to happen, like the consequences of time travel, if we knew what was going to happen in Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, would we really be that excited or that intrigued about the plot? That's the most unpredictable thing about time, is we never know how much time we have and how we're going to spend it and how it's going to elapse. The one thing we know is it's going to elapse, we just don't know how, and who we're going to meet, who we're going to come in contact, what's going to happen with us in our everyday lives, because everybody's life is different. And throughout our lives, we all have a different reason for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Maybe it's just because you love the dolls. Maybe you love collecting the 10th anniversary dolls, which look fantastic. Maybe you love the color scheme of how Bridget was pink, how Red was red and Chloe was blue. It was a pretty obvious kind of concept. The color scheme really fit perfectly with it. And I think a lot of people chose to criticize that. Really anything they could criticize about Descendants of Zombies early on without even giving it a chance, they chose to criticize it. I mean, you could choose to criticize me for having Sonic the Hedgehog back there and a Sonic the Hedgehog trio poster. But the thing is, I have a Sonic the Hedgehog trio poster, which many of you actually like, because I was a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog and he was a superhero. And I think that Red, Princess Red, I love how they're referring to her as Princess Red for Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, because it puts a greater emphasis on her character. Finally, that army convoy is moving out. Every day I record a video, I expect a zombie apocalypse to break out at any given moment. That's why I run out to the dollar store all the time to pick up the necessary essentials like food, water, medical supplies, because one can never be too prepared, because you never know when a zombie apocalypse is going to happen. And I spoke on how this island I live on has so many legendary tales about mermaids and pirates associated with the ghost ships, and how people go missing all the time and forest. Usually it happens on berry picking excursions. I used to berry pick when I was a little boy, and I used to think I used to see ghosts and aliens in the forest. Now, while it could never be confirmed, I would never see that same person twice on another berry picking excursion I would go out on when I was a kid. And I'd go home and I'd tell my mom these stories about how I thought I saw a ghost when I'd be berry picking, and she thought I was crazy. Like all the times I tried to get abducted by aliens when I was a kid sitting out on our front lawn, I'd tell my mom to go in, close the windows and the doors, and she would think I was crazy. Now, while I may have never got abducted by aliens and succeeded, that doesn't mean that it can't happen, because I've been following this really interesting story about there's an alien probe apparently on the way to Earth to kill us all in less than 100 days, and I'm really intrigued by that, because I see all these stories and all these documentaries about how people have been convinced they've been abducted by aliens. I just saw this one video of this guy that I know uploaded the other day, and he was talking about how he had been convinced that he was abducted by an alien. So you can never be too sure. Everybody has their own theory and predictions they can make, but I really love how Disney is drawing inspiration from this and really bringing a franchise to life that has really held a special place in all of our hearts because of it. I love how I was always a theater kid. Maybe I'm just saying this because I was a theater kid for forever, and I have a greater appreciation for what it takes to bring a stage production to life. Because it's all about how the audience receives you and how they respond to you in a certain way. And I think that if the audience loves you, they're going to let you know about it. And if they don't love you so much, they're also going to let you know about it. If they hate you, they're going to let you know about it. If they love you, they're going to let you know about it. And I think that the way they received Clarke and Trell is really mind-blowing to me. Now, undeniably, they received Dove Cameron with such passion. And Dove Cameron will forever be credited for being the girl who made me famous overnight. She made me a superstar on YouTube. Because before I was talking about Dove Cameron, I was talking about video games, TV shows, and movies like The Vampire Diaries and Twilight, and wasn't being received all that well. And then from out of nowhere, I discovered the power of Dove Cameron and how passionate everybody was about her. So I took a chance on her and started uploading videos about Dove Cameron. And one thing led to another, and I became a superstar overnight. Unquestionably, Dove Cameron will be credited to making me a celebrity overnight. And while fame may have had a consistent habit of following me everywhere I went, from the drive-thru to McDonald's, the parking lot at Walmart, everybody knew who I was. Hey, you're Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Can I have your autograph? The thing is, I've had so much fun talking about Descendants of Zombies that I couldn't think about talking about anything else. I can't see myself doing anything else. Bottom line is, I've dedicated my life to talking about Descendants of Zombies because I believe you guys have deserved better for a very long time, and now more people know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is than ever before. More people know who Clarke and Trell is. More people know who Ruby Rose Turner is, and more so than knowing who I am and the exposure I've received on YouTube, I've wanted your favorite stars to have legacies, and I wanted to solidify those legacies. I wanted to help and assist in solidifying these legacies, because I know what it's like to feel downhearted about a franchise and never wanting to have to say goodbye, because I've always had this thing where I've never wanted to say goodbye to High School Musical, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life. I've never wanted to say goodbye, because when the story, it seemed like Disney had this thing where when the story was getting good, like when Juliet fell in love with Justin on Wizards of Waverly Place and he fell in love with a vampire. There was so much that could have been done in that story where he fell in love with a vampire. And then, of course, I think Alex Russo found out that her boyfriend was a werewolf at one point in that series. The thing is, when the story was getting good in the Disney franchises, they would cancel them. And I think that that's happened for far long enough now, which is why I felt so honored that Disney is actually keeping on going with a story now for the Descendants franchise, because they realize how many characters they can see their introduction into this franchise and how much can be done with this franchise. Because the thing is, this story doesn't have to end. While critics will say forever and always they need to stop making Descendants of Zombies movies, the thing is, this story can keep on going for forever and always. And I think that as long as we hold on to that belief, more chapters can be written, and there's always an opportunity to create something. Like this story that's presenting itself now with Red and Pink as one of the consequences of time travel, presents an opportunity for a more innovative storyline and a far more wider storyline than ever given credit for. Because we can just look at this as, Pink is just making a one-time appearance in the Descendants franchise, or we can choose to look at it as a passing of the torch moment in the Descendants franchise, kind of like what we saw for Zombie Swore Down to the Vampires this past summer. I never thought that going into Zombie Swore Down to the Vampires we'd be setting up for a passing of the torch moment. I knew there were going to be more storylines written, because of Victor and Nova finding their way into the storyline with how adorable they look together. Let's not forget to mention how cute and adorable they look together, because they do. Which is why I say you guys are deserving of more credit than ever before, because you see the potential in stars. You know a star before Disney and the writers and producers even see the potential that exists in a star. And I think that's really going to give Victor and Nova more incentive than ever before, because I remember years ago when even Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim were feeling downhearted about the success of Zombies, and if they were wondering if Zombies was going to have just as incredible reach as what Descendants did, because I know that people were referring to Zombies as a mere copycat off Descendants. And, you know, I grew very tired of that very quickly, because that was choosing to not give Zombies as much of a chance as what Descendants has been received, because you were talking about a franchise that had over 781 million hours of stream time. You know, everybody that I knew was watching Descendants. You know, people were showing up at my door every year on Halloween dressed up as their favorite Descendants character, Bridget, Mel, Chloe, Red, and they were knocking on my door going, Jonathan Clarke, what's wrong with you? You're Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. You're supposed to be talking about Descendants of Zombies. Make Descendants of Zombies videos for us, because we're crazy about Descendants of Zombies, psycho-like. So I took it under advisement, and I've been uploading Descendants of Zombies videos ever since, and as a result, you guys have your Descendants of Zombies podcast, and you've blown this YouTube channel completely out of the water, like the Vortex and Zombies Swore Dawn of the Vampires, which I'm wondering what's inside of the vortex, like each and every one of you. And really, that's what's so cool about Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires and being a fan of Zombies and Descendants, is that we don't know what's going to happen next, and I'm just like each and every one of you. While I can offer a prediction that it could be mermaids or pirates or witches or sirens, thank God that Army Convoy has moved out of the way and there's not a zombie apocalypse happening at this time while I'm recording a video. It happens every single time I'm recording a video. While it can be suggested that mermaids and pirates are inside of this thing, I really believe that there could be anything inside of this thing. And I think that adding elements of water, like Avatar, into the storyline is going to be really cool. You know, James Cameron and Avatar has had enough exposure. I want to see other elements of Disney have, you know, elements of water introduced into it. And I think creatures from the water add a lot of unpredictability. And with the thought of mermaids entering the franchise, with the history of mermaids and there being such a lure that exists with mermaids, I think there is something to be really excited about with this story, because there's so much unpredictability that can come from a mermaid, because sometimes you can trust a mermaid, other times you can't. And because of how much I've loved mermaids and reading stories about mermaids on this island, I feel really intrigued about this plot, and I'm really excited about it, even if it doesn't come until 2028. Which I know feels like forever away for a lot of people, but rest assured, even if that means I have to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies every day for the rest of my life, I will do that, because I think that if you're going to talk about Descendants of Zombies, you should talk about Descendants of Zombies. You just shouldn't, you know, put a damper on everybody's hopes about Descendants of Zombies ever amounting to anything, because I think there's always going to be a chance to talk about Descendants of Zombies. There's forever and always going to be an opportunity to talk about Descendants of Zombies on the show. You know, every day presents a new opportunity for us to talk about Descendants of Zombies. It's not just about uploading one reaction video because you saw a music video for Rewrite the Stars or Dream Come True and just upload it to your YouTube channel and get 50,000 likes and 50,000 subscribers. Talk about how Kylie Control feels about the moment, being lost in that moment with each and every one of you, and how appreciative she is of that moment. Talk about how Meg Donnelly feels about being turned down for roles of Supergirl and being Addison Wells in the Zombies franchise and bringing that character to life, and how much that character means to her heart, because you can tell, without even knowing anything about Meg Donnelly, that that character has forever and always held a special place in her heart. And that's what means so much to me, being able to talk about Descendants of Zombies with each and every one of you, because I not only get to talk about Descendants of Zombies in every video that I upload, but I get the honor of meeting each and every one of you, and every day there's somebody new subscribing to this YouTube channel. Many of you are coming up on your 1-year anniversary of being subscribed to this YouTube channel, and it's been an incredible year for me, because I've been able to talk with each and every one of you about how I felt about Descendants of Zombies, which I feel a lot of people don't come through on doing. Because if you're going to upload a video about Descendants of Zombies, then move into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant and live your life in fear of that soda plantation and chemical plant exploding side by side and everybody turning into a zombie. Live the entire Zombies experience. You know, stay calm and zombie on for the rest of your life, because I feel as if that's the most effective way to live and present your video. Because if you're going to upload a video about Descendants of Zombies, know everything there is to possibly know about Descendants of Zombies. Live your life in fear of a zombie apocalypse happening, which the chances of Google, according to Google Nest, says it will never ever happen. But always believe in that. Because never believe what a scientific expert will tell you about how a zombie apocalypse will never happen. Because I believe, for one, that the chances of a zombie apocalypse happening could happen at any given moment, especially with us just being under 2 weeks away from Halloween. The leaves are falling off the trees. It's a beautiful time of year. So take advantage of it and have fun talking about Descendants and Zombies, because that's all I've ever wanted to do, is have fun with you guys talking about Descendants and Zombies and offer my crazy predictions and theories on what's going to happen next. Because one thing is for sure, while we don't know what's going to happen in Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, we are going to find out if Happily Ever After was all Chloe and Red ever wanted. But their friendship will surely be tested, and it will be proven out to be the most valuable commodity of life, because it's all about time and the time we share with the people we love, and just how valuable and how much friendship means to each and every one of us. And that's what's so beautiful about being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because of the greater appreciation we get all the time and we see for friendships with Red and Chloe, and this really being the most beautiful friendship that I've ever had the honor of talking about on my YouTube channel. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, clicking on my thumbnail, and watching this video with me, because I have so much fun producing these videos for you. I will be back later on this afternoon with a new video about Descendants and Zombies, and we'll talk a whole lot more about the direction of the franchise and the future of it, because you had better believe there is a future when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, and all we have to do is talk about it. And I can talk about it for hours on end every single day, because I love being here in your guys' presence, because I consider it an honor and a chance for me to talk about Descendants and Zombies more than I ever have before. So thank you guys so much. Keep on staying calm and zombieing on, because life is that much sweeter when we all are. Don't forget to hit my like and subscribe buttons, and to ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications for everything happening on this YouTube channel. Every single time I upload a video, you will get a notification from Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs, and you're not going to want to miss a single second of the action on this YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much from my heart to yours. Thank you for watching this video. I will return later on this afternoon with more thoughts on Descendants and Zombies, which I will express and elaborate on for you guys, which I hope you will join me for. Until then, stay calm and zombie on. Guys, I love you so much. We will talk more about Descendants and Zombies in just a couple of hours from now.